Hello and welcome to Nightline. I'm Brandon Wong. The headlines. Malaysia to withdraw from Rome Statute, says Prime Minister. TH announces hibah of 1.25% for 2018. Good morning. Prime Minister Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said Malaysia will withdraw from the Rome Statute of the International Criminal Court (ICC) due to political confusion. He added the decision not to ratify the Rome Statute was not because it was harmful to the country or due to fears of government leaders being prosecuted. Speaking during a press conference in Putrajaya, Tun Dr. Mahathir stated the decision was made collectively by the Cabinet at its meeting on Friday. The Prime Minister also said Malaysia, which acceded to the Rome Statute on March the 4th, can withdraw before June this year.
Kita dapat maklumat tentang usaha ini, usaha untuk melibatkan raja-raja supaya menentang kerajaan, khususnya menentang Perdana Menteri. Sebab itu kita perlu jelaskan usaha ini kerana saya dapati ramai yang tak faham isu ini. Mereka tak faham apa dianya Statute of Rome. If we cannot go to war, are we going to go to war? Are we going to commit genocide? Are we taking away human rights? I don't see anything being done. What they are saying is that if we sign this Statute of Rome, we will lose our independence. Our independence to form kita punya own policies, dasar-dasar kita, dan kita punya undang-undang di negara. Ini tidak benar. Yang benar ialah kalau kita keterlaluan membuat sesuatu yang dianggap amat buruk sekali, barulah Statute of Rome will be applied to us.
The ICC was established in 2002 and governed by the Rome Statute. It is the first permanent, treaty-based international criminal court which would prosecute perpetrators of genocide, war crimes and crimes against humanity and aggression. On March the 4th, Foreign Minister Datuk Saifuddin Abdullah signed the instrument of accession to the Rome Statute of the ICC. The instrument was deposited with the Secretary-General of the United Nations on the same day. On the liners issue, Tun Dr. Mahathir Mohamad said liners can continue to operate in Malaysia on condition that the raw material brought into the country is decontaminated first. The Prime Minister said Malaysia has also opened up the rare earth mining business to other companies and they will only be allowed to operate if they comply with the government's conditions.
We have opened up the business to other people, and there are other companies willing to buy up or somehow or rather acquire liners. They have given us a promise that in future, before sending the raw material to Malaysia, they will clean it up first. They will crack it and decontaminate it in some way with regard to radioactivity, so that when the raw material comes here, the volume is less and the waste from that raw material is not dangerous to anybody.
Australian-based Liners has a processing plant in the Gebeng Industrial Zone in Pahang, but is facing problems getting license renewals for the plant due to concerns over waste management. During the media conference, Tun Dr. Mahathir also said that the government would open a new investigation on the findings of the Human Rights Commission of Malaysia on the disappearances of social activist Amri Chekmat and Pastor Raymond Kaur. However, he said the investigation would have to wait because the accusations were directed at the current Inspector General of Police.
We will start we will open a new investigation. But to do that, we will wait because the accusation is directed at the present IGP. We'll wait until we have a change in the IGP and we'll set up a group to study whether there is substance in the hearsay evidence used by Suhakam.
On Wednesday, Suhakam had claimed that Special Branch Bukit Aman was involved in the abduction of Ko, which was similar to the disappearance of Amri. Suhakam Commissioner Datuk Ma Weng Kwai said the decision was made based on the findings of its panel, which conducted a study on Ko's abduction. Tan Sri Muhammad Fuzi, who is due to retire as the IGP next month, was the Special Branch Chief at that time. On another matter, Tun Dr. Mahathir explained that the 9th Malaysia-Singapore Leaders Retreat next week will discuss pending bilateral issues in a friendly manner. Among the issues include the revision of raw water prices under the 1962 Water Agreement, airspace and maritime border.
All these things will be discussed in a friendly manner. We are not going to confront them, but I believe that even Singapore understand the need to revise their price of water.
Tun Dr. Mahathir is expected to meet his Singaporean counterpart, Lee Hsien Loong, at the retreat session in Putrajaya on April the 8th and 9th. This latest retreat was initially scheduled for November last year. On whether or not the country expects to receive 1MDB-linked funds seized by authorities in the Republic, the Prime Minister said the repatriation of funds will only be done once the source is confirmed to be from investment companies in Singapore. Last year, Singapore's court ordered the return to Malaysia of about 45.93 million ringgit that was siphoned off from 1MDB funds or its subsidiary SRC International Sendirian Berhad. Malaysia's pilgrimage fund, Tabung Haji TH, on Friday announced its hibah or dividend of 1.25%, the lowest in history, amounting to 913 million ringgit for all its depositors for the financial year 2018. The hibah is 66% lower compared to 6.25% in 2017. Minister in the Prime Minister's Department, Datuk Sri Mujahid Yusof Rawa, said the low hibah is the result of problems left behind by the previous administration under Barisan Nasional. He said TH recorded an asset surplus of 1 billion ringgit for the financial year ending December 31st, 2018. As at December 31st, 2018, he added TH had recorded total assets of 76.5 billion ringgit, higher than the total liabilities of 75.5 billion ringgit. Datuk Sri Mujahid said in 2018, TH registered revenue of 4.2 billion ringgit and an attributed profit of 2 billion ringgit. He also asked for the public's understanding of TH's current predicament and hopes to allocate better dividends post-restructuring.
Tabung haji akan kembali kepada landasannya yang asal, memenuhi kehendak yang ada di dalam Akta Tabung Haji bagi memastikan kebajikan para bakal jemaah haji dan perjalanan haji itu berjalan dengan lancar tanpa berlaku apa-apa penyelewengan dari sudut keuangan.
Datuk Sri Mujahid, who announced the hibah at a press conference on Friday, said the government will allocate 500 million ringgit next year for the restructuring of TH and subsequently 1.73 billion ringgit per year until all its sukuk are redeemed. Total allocation for the 10 years is estimated at 17.8 billion ringgit. Depositors can check their accounts for the hibah crediting from April the 8th. Malaysia is inviting foreign franchises to make Malaysia their regional hub. Deputy Prime Minister Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah Wan Ismail said the rising prosperity of the region should make Malaysia an attractive place for foreign franchises to launch their products and services into the new markets.
The rising prosperity of this region should make it an attractive place for investment, and Malaysia can be your platform from which to launch your products and services into new markets. The enabling business environment and the pro-business environment should convince you that Malaysia is an excellent choice as a hub to manage your investment.
She said this after launching the Franchise International Malaysia Exhibition and Conference 2019 or FIM 2019 in Kuala Lumpur on Friday. Datuk Sri Dr. Wan Azizah added that the government's policy towards the franchise business also recognizes the need and importance of supporting the development of homegrown franchises as part of the overall development agenda in building domestic capability for wealth creation and prosperity. Presently, about 9% of homegrown franchises have established outlets overseas, namely in the ASEAN region, China, India, Australia, and even the Middle Eastern countries. 66 Malaysian franchise brands have now penetrated 65 markets, compared with 12 brands to 12 countries in 2015. FIM 2019 aims to draw 12,000 visitors with 400 million ringgit worth of potential investments. The Employees Provident Fund (EPF) has credited the government-approved incentive payment totaling 9.51 million ringgit into the accounts of the Caruman Sukarela Aisuri members for 2018. In a statement, EPF said the amount refers to the 40 ringgit monthly incentive credited into the accounts of 49,857 Aisuri account holders who have made a minimum of 5 ringgit contribution on a monthly basis. The retirement fund said members of Aisuri can check their accounts online via EPF kiosks or at any EPF counter nationwide starting Friday. The EPF also encouraged more housewives or female heads of household whose profiles are in the National Database on Poverty (IKASE) to register for Aisuri. It said members could contribute a minimum of 5 ringgit on a monthly basis into their retirement savings account to be eligible to receive the government incentive of 40 ringgit per month. The trial of former Prime Minister Datuk Seri Mohammad Najib Tun Razak, who faces 25 corruption and money laundering charges involving 2.28 billion ringgit in funds linked to 1MDB, will take place for 14 days, beginning May the 14th. Judge Colin Lawrence Sequeira set the dates during case management at the High Court here on Friday. The new dates were fixed after Najib's lawyer, Havinderjit Singh, 66, told the court that the original dates of the trial, set from April 15 to May the 3rd, would overlap with another case faced by the former Prime Minister involving misappropriation of funds from SRC International, Sendirian Berhad. Datuk Seri Najib's first 4 charges were under Section 23 subsection 1 and 24 subsection 1 of the MACC Act 2009, while the other 21 charges were under Section 4 subsection 1A of the Anti-Money Laundering and Anti-Terrorism Financing Act 2001. For the charges under the MACC Act, Datuk Seri Najib, 66, is accused of using his then position as Prime Minister, Finance Minister and Chairman of the 1MDB Advisory Board to receive bribes on 4 occasions. Meanwhile, the money laundering charges include 9 counts of receiving illegal proceeds, 5 counts of using illegal proceeds and 7 counts of transferring the proceeds to other entities. All the offences allegedly occurred at M Islamic Bank Berhad's Jalan Raja Chulan branch in Bukit Silon, Kuala Lumpur between February the 24th, 2011 and December 19, 2014. Coming up, warnings of chaos and sky-high fares for Ehailing rides. Details next. Welcome back. Proton Holdings Berhad, whose market share surged to 11% in March, has seen rising foot traffic to its showrooms and dealership centres nationwide. Its authorised dealer, Wan Hijau Industries Malaysia Sendirian Berhad, said this was driven by the public's growing interest in the national car maker's best-selling X70 since its launch in December last year.
Tak ada orang datang showroom. Sekarang ni ramai orang datang showroom. Sebelum ni orang pergi ke company lain, tapi sekarang ni orang dah pergi ke company Proton. Dah ramai, lepas tu ramai, sale pun meningkat, melonjak naik. Lebih kurang dalam sebelum ni tak berapa banyak sangat, tapi sekarang ni dah naik sampai ada 120.
Wan Nur Zuhadi said the improvement was also supported by the growing number of Proton's 3S and 4S outlets. He said 3S outlets offer sales, service and spare parts under one roof, while 4S are those that include body and paint service. Wan Hijau Industries Malaysia is one of Proton's 75 3S and 4S outlets nationwide. Proton, which sold 8,500 units of X70 within 100 days since its launch, expects to clinch overall sales of 60,000 cars this year. The Malaysia Auto Show is back, and it's bigger and better this time. Chief Executive Officer of Malaysia Automotive, Robotics and IoT Institute, MARI, Datuk Madani Sahari, said the 2019 edition will showcase the latest vehicles with the participation from 32 manufacturers and 170 exhibitors from 7 countries.
Auto show yang terbesar di ASEAN, di mana kita mengadakan display dalaman dan juga luaran, internal dan juga external activities sebesar 50,000 meter persegi, 50,000 square meters. So it's the biggest in ASEAN. Kita ada display of cars. Seramai sekitar 32 OEM yang akan mengambil turut serta dalam auto show kita pada kali ini.
The event will be held at the Malaysia Agro Exposition Park Serdang, MAPS, on April 11th to 14th. Datuk Madani also expects the exhibition to attract over 350,000 visitors and generate 250 million ringgit in sales. What's more, lucky visitors will get to win grand prizes, including the Puro Dua Beza, Myvi, Kia Picanto and Vespa S125 worth about 250,000 ringgit. Ehailing ride drivers are urging the government to extend the July 12th deadline for them to register for the Public Service Vehicle PSV license, similar to taxi drivers. On top of the tight deadline, they say delays and confusion over the module's availability may result in many drivers being disqualified from the service, ultimately pushing fares up due to a mismatch in supply and demand. With an estimated 200,000 e-hailing drivers in the country and an insufficient number of PSV trainers, the drivers just don't see how the deadline can be met. A representative of e-hailing provider Decentralized Alternative Cab Servicing and Empowering Everyone, DAXI, Muhammad Faizul Ismin, told the New Straits Times that e-hailing drivers are the ones who make the system work. If there are fewer of them on the road during peak hours due to failure to obtain the PSV license, the waiting time will be much longer and the fares will surely go up. On April the 3rd, Road Transport Department RTD Director General Datuk Sri Shaharuddin Khalid said that 4 of the nation's estimated 30 to 35 registered e-hailing companies were authorized to manage their own PSV training facilities, including DAXI and Grab. The PSV module was only made available at 211 driving academies and e-hailing centres on April the 1st, while Transport Minister Anthony Locke had actually stressed the need for e-hailing drivers to obtain PSV licences since the first week of January this year. In Pahang, a man has been remanded for 4 days beginning Friday to assist investigations into a case in which he is alleged to have caused injuries to his father. In the 5:45 p.m. incident, the 54-year-old victim was said to have had a quarrel with his wife before the suspect allegedly punched and stepped on him. The case is being investigated under Section 324 of the Penal Code. Over in Selangor, some 150 illegal immigrants were detained in an immigration department's operation at the Selayang Wet Market on Friday morning. The illegals of various nationalities, including women, were rounded up under the operation code named Ops Bersepadu, which started at 5 a.m. Among those arrested were immigrants from Indonesia, Myanmar, India and Bangladesh who were either traders or workers at the market. In Tawau, Sabah, a mechanic suffered losses worth about 54,000 ringgit when his house was broken into by 5 robbers. The incident was recorded by a CCTV showing the robbers entering the house at about 4 p.m. by sabotaging the kitchen grills before stealing many valuables. The case is being investigated under Section 457 of the Penal Code for break-in. Meanwhile, in Pulau Pinang, the government's weekly Executive Council meeting was interrupted when the fire alarm of Complex Tun Razak Komta was triggered at about 3 p.m. on Friday. All the state excos were inside the meeting room during the incident, after which they were all told to evacuate by walking down the stairs. The meeting had taken place on the 28th floor of Komta, which is located in Georgetown. We're going for a short break. When we return, Theresa May asks the EU for yet another Brexit delay. The foreign stories. In the United Kingdom, Brexit looks likely to be heading for another delay after British Prime Minister Theresa May wrote to the European Union requesting for another short extension until June 29th, while she battles to win cross-party agreement on a way forward. The Prime Minister, however, said she was still hopeful of leaving the bloc earlier and asked for the UK to be able to exit as soon as possible if a withdrawal deal is approved by Parliament. Meanwhile, EU Council President Donald Tusk is likely to propose a year-long extension, which could be shortened if and when the UK ratifies the withdrawal deal. May had expected to request a longer delay, but faced heavy pressure from pro-Brexit cabinet ministers to seek only a short extension. She will then travel to Brussels on April the 10th for an emergency European Council meeting that will decide whether or not to approve the UK's request. Any further delay to Brexit would likely require the UK to take part in European Parliament elections on May the 23rd. Over in South Korea, firefighters managed to extinguish most of the massive forest fire that ripped through its mountainous northern coast on Friday, destroying 135 homes and forcing more than 4,000 to flee the region that hosted the 2018 Winter Olympics. At least 2 people were killed and 35 others injured in what was possibly the country's biggest forest fire ever. It is believed that the fire, which broke out late on Thursday, originated from a spark at a transformer near Gyeongsang in Gangwon Province, northeast of Seoul. Affected by strong wind, the flames rapidly spread to nearby mountainous regions, including the Inje County and the city of Sokcho, Donghae, Gwangnyeong in Gwangnong Province. The Ministry of Interior and Safety said fires in the county of Goseong and the nearby coastal city of Sokcho were finally extinguished. Fires in the towns of Gwangnyeong and Inje were 70 to 80% extinguished. About 525 hectares of forest was estimated to have been destroyed by the blaze. A New Zealand judge on Friday ordered the alleged gunman in the Christchurch mosque massacre to undergo a mental health assessment to determine if he is fit to face trial for the murder of 50 Muslims in the congregation. During a brief hearing in Christchurch, High Court Judge Cameron Mander ruled that the accused Brenton Tarrant to be seen by 2 health assessors to determine whether he is fit to stand trial or is insane. Tarrant appeared by audiovisual link from Auckland, where he is being held in isolation at a maximum security prison following the deadliest mass shooting in modern New Zealand history. The 28-year-old Australian is facing 50 murder and 39 attempted murder charges over the March 15 attacks on 2 mosques. The suspect, a self-avowed white supremacist, sat motionless throughout the hearing. It was not required to enter a plea and was remanded in custody until his next court appearance on June the 14th. After the breather, Tianming, Beijing make it to the semi-finals. Stay tuned. Sports badminton, the 2019 Salcom Axiata Malaysian Open. National mixed doubles pair Tan Kian Ming Lai Pei Jing pulled off a remarkable comeback as they beat Indonesia's Tontowi Ahmad, Winnie Oktawina Kondau to keep the nation's challenge alive in the championships. The world number 38 pair made a poor start, losing the first set 17-21. Tan and Lai then came back stronger in the second, winning 21-16 before beating the Indonesian pair 21-16 in the final set. They will next face world number 2 Wang Yiliu, Huang Dongping of China on Saturday for a place in the finals. Thousands of devotees flocked to a mock palace of kaleidoscopic colors in southern Myanmar this week to dance and sing their respects at a lavish cremation of a local celebrity monk. Witness the colorful celebration as we draw Nightline to a close. I'm Brandon Wong. Thanks for watching and have a great weekend ahead.